Okay, in case you don't wanna use multi-map exporter, another chance that we have, and this is more complicated than choosing an Apple in the northeastern coast, is to use Adobe Substance Painter. Sorry, Adobe Substance 3D Painter. That software is in the school computers. I believe that you might be able to get a trial. I'm not sure. 4 years ago, it was part of a French company that was super nice, and then it got bought by Adobe and shittified. Anyway, for the purposes of painting and baking textures, I will press New File. I will select the sample file that I have, that I call it in very Chilean way Mono, and I will choose Mono, the low poly version, the low poly export. It's going to ask me a bunch of questions, including if I want to auto unwrap. You will say no, because we already have a UV map. Import cameras, no. Use UV tile workflow, not in this case. Document resolution 1496 is better. It's more taxing, so if it's a bit slow on your computer, change it to 2048 or something like that. Actually, we'll do 2048, just because we want to be cheaper. And then you press OK. And then we have our John Merrick. You see the UV map and the other thing at the same time, which is amazing because I can type JM and it works there, and you can draw something there and it happens at the same time. So it's kind of great. Now, the baking part has to do with something to your right, where you see texture set settings here in that tab. You go way down and you will see an option that says Bake Mesh Map. There is a pastry here, so actually if you press that button of the baking part, or the pastry thingy, you will get immediately to a baking section, and you have the option of adding your high definition mesh. So you press that thing there, it opens a menu. Since you're so nice, you already had the mono high poly thing, so you double click on that. It's comparing the two, so it seems like you're doing an exam at a doctor or something. And it's going to ask you what resolution do you want. I'll keep it at 2048, should be enough. And what kind of maps do you want to create? So normal, yes, we always want that. World space normal, I really don't need that. ID, no. Ambient occlusion, yes, thank you. Curvature, thickness, good one. Opacity, yeah, those are fine. And then we do bake selected textures. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna show us that it's working by making a lot of stuff with our images. And then we press return to painting mode. And you can see that the model, even though it's the low poly version, is working fine. I think that this one doesn't have the eye. Sorry, I forgot to export that. Now, so that's amazing. We have a model that is low resolution but has a lot of detail. Funny thing about Substance Painter, if you go into layers, you can add layers. This will look like magic. If you press the fill tool there, actually I will turn out, I just want to see the 3D part. I have a fill layer there, and I have a property of fill. I will say that the color is red, which is nice, and no big deal, right? I will add a mask. Okay, add a black mask. So even though it's painted red, I added a mask so you can't see anything. Now, this is the nicest thing about Substance Painter. You can add an effect to the mask. So you add a generator, and under generator, this is kind of like the modifiers in Blender. You press generator, it's gonna load a bunch of stuff, and you have all of these generators that you can preview. So if I do metal edge wear, it's going to create a pattern or a mask based on the geometry itself, which is kind of nice. You want to change it, say for dripping. We have that. Light, this is based on the light. Greatest thinkers in the world. Metal, yeah, I kind of love dirt because it amplifies some stuff. If you want it to be the other way around, you can just invert, and that way if you make a layer below, you can say that this layer is a darker color. If you're feeling a bit more experimental, you can make it a bit more purpley. And if you want to add another texture, you have different aspects. You can say that these ones are, for instance, height. It's kind of nice, but we're not going to use it. Roughness, I'm going to say that this one is very shiny, and that the color is dark, so it will look kind of like an oil spill. And then again the mask, so add black mask, add a generator, and I will do a generator there's a generator editor, so there's ambient occlusion, 3D linear, but I'll do dripping because it's kind of like an oil thingy, right? So I can add it as rust or just add it there. As you can see, some parts are shiny, the black parts are shinier, which is kind of cool. I can dial down the contrast, amplify the spreading smoothness, add more drips, so you can say you can alter that, so that's nice, and tells you what channels it's using. And if I go back, I can change the color. So let's say I want it to be more of a brown color. Easy to do. What if I want it to be higher? Because I'm adding sort of adding paint, right? Not hard. If I take height and I push it up, I'm sort of like adding height to this. So pretty good. That's how you can add a lot of detail. There's also, if you're feeling a bit on the lazy part, this option of using smart materials. Smart materials should be around here, but this has changed a bit. Where are my smart materials? Got them. I just have to click here and choose smart materials. There's smart masks too, that's new. But if I do smart materials, I can just drop in some materials that are already created. So if I do creature, this is basically a layer, so I can just drop it here and check this layer here, that is the red one, and say that I'm going to make it a bit less opaque, so pretty creaturey. If I don't want to see the creature layer, I can just turn it off. Pretty sure there's some sort of like human thing, human skin, that is not the best, but it's not bad. Plastic use, no. Skin face, okay, that's good. I'll put it below again that layer, so it's a bit red, and yeah, not bad. And if you wanna like go play God of War or whatever, you can add a paint layer and change the color here. Let's just paint it white, right? But this is very satisfying. Some special type of tattoo in a way. Or if you wanna change the color and make it kind of like pencil blue, and say that someone drew a mustache on this. And drew something like that. Mustache is fine. I don't know if you wanted to make it into a clown kind of thing. Not hard to do. I think it does work. Why God of War? Because God of War is like, they have that kind of stuff, right? You can even make the materials have different colors. So if I wanted to make it pretty rough, well, it will probably be affected by the ones below. But yeah, you can see it's a bit less rough. And if I want to make this one strong, that's good. So that's like a quick view of Substance Painter if you want to use it to paint and create textures too. If you want to export the files, you just have to go export textures and make sure that you put it in a folder, right? So texture export, document channels. There are some templates for export, a bunch of options, right? But since we're using Blender, just do Blender Principled PDF, BSDF, and export it with USD asset and shader parameters. And you click on, and you make sure that you know where you're exporting it. So I'm exporting it to desktop. In this case, I'm using a PC, so right click, new folder, Body Brains. That's not the name, but I forget now. And you press that, and you click export, and everything will be exported. If you want more resolution, you can also export at high resolution. You just go into export textures, same thing as before, but just make sure that the size, you set it to a higher number. Don't make it 8192 though, that's too big. But 1496, that might be fine. Okay, hope it helps.